Welcome to another presentation of the Side of Sports video blog. This is episode 38, a special episode, and today's date is October 16th, 2017. This is my NBA season preview special. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to break down all 30 NBA teams, where I think they will finish in each conference, the 8 playoff teams, and my predictions for the NBA Finals in June of 2018. Also, who I think will win MVP and Defensive Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year as well. I just want to say thanks to everybody who's been tuning in to the channel overall, watching the sports blog, watching the Thursday night edition of the sports blog I've been doing every week. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Of course, we're doing all NBA today. It's about 15 after 10 where I am, and in the evening. So I'm actually watching the Monday Night Football game at the same time while I'm talking to you. I gotta check the Yankees actual score as well. Haven't checked that in a while. I just got off actually playing with my main man, Fat Man Don Parker. We play Call of Duty every night. We just did our session, but I did do a free fall session that I'm uploading right now on the channel, and then I of course will upload this as the season is basically less than 24 hours away. As 2 games tomorrow night, Boston at Cleveland, and then Houston will go face the defending champion Golden State Warriors, who will get their rings tomorrow night. So 2 interesting games tomorrow, 4 interesting teams to see tomorrow. How I'm going to do this previous show, I'm going to pretty much touch on every team like I did for my NFL special as well. But you know, in the NBA, the top 8 teams make the playoffs in each conference. So I'm going to start from the 15th spot and we'll work my way up in each conference. And then I give my prediction for the NBA Finals, and then my predictions for MVP and Defensive Player of the Year and all that stuff. So I'm going to get started. I think I'm going to start with the Eastern Conference first. Both of these conferences are hard to do once I started really thinking about the teams. Like, really, I could make a case for some of the teams that's not in that I don't think is going to make the playoffs to make it. Then I can make a case against them as well. But just going to touch on all the teams from top to bottom, from bottom to top, I should say, for each conference. I'm starting the East. Of course, there's 15 teams in each conference. That makes it 30 teams. In the East, actually, I got the Bulls finishing last in the East. Like I said, this is, you know, really the bottom half of the East is pretty much a crapshoot to me. But I just think all the changes the Bulls made, I don't think it's going to be a team basically that get just 8 or 9 wins of the season. I think every team will probably make at least 15 to 20 wins. No, I'm not predicting wins per se here in this blog, but I just thought about it, that the Bulls will probably finish last. I just don't think they just don't have enough talent. They lost a lot of key guys. Of course, Jimmy Butler, D Wade moved on as well with the buyout. I do like Jack Levine, but he ain't supposed to be back till later in the season due to his ACL tear. Other than that, I just don't see the talent in Chicago. So for that reason, I have them finishing 15th and then be in the East. But I mean, this could, to me, like I said, I could see them finishing higher, but I still don't see them making the playoffs at all. But that's what make this year so interesting. So many moves. The Bulls, I mean, we'll see where they finish, but I got them finishing last in the East, in my opinion. Number 14, Atlanta. I think the Hawks also lost a lot on the offseason. Paul Millsap was a big loss. I gave them the nod over the Bulls because they do have a system there. Shooter, he got into some trouble during the offseason, the point guard for the Hawks. Um, we'll see how that falls, how that turns out. Blaze Moore still there. They still have some talent there, but just don't think they have enough to compete. Not just in the East, but in the NBA period. Number 13, Brooklyn Nets. I do like the trades that they made. Try to get a little younger with D'Angelo Russell. Jeremy Lin is talented. Just think they're going to do a little bit better. I think they're going to finish probably high, like I said, 13th. It's still low, but they might still be in that top 5 again for the draft. But I think that pick go to Boston, I believe. But I think they'd be more exciting at least to watch this year than they was last year. Number 12, I got Orlando Magic. I think they have some pieces there. Aaron Gordon, Peyton, some of the small pieces they have there, but they still don't have no superstar there that can really take them over the top. I think they struggled a little bit this year. I think they finished 12th in the Eastern Conference. Number 11, Indiana Pacers. The Pacers, of course, losing Paul George via trade. I think they'll still be a little bit more competitive with Oladipo and some of the pieces they have there. But I still don't have them doing a lot in the East. Number 10, the New York Knicks. Knicks is one of those teams that could, be a little bit surprised. They have talent there. I like Tim Hardaway Jr. I like, Porzingis. Some of the pieces they have there. But I just don't think they're going to be able to do enough to make it to the playoffs in the East. So I got them finishing 10th in the Eastern Conference. Number 9, Detroit Pistons. I think they just barely not make it. I like Andre Drummond. I like Reggie Jackson. But I just don't think they have enough talent to overcome the 8 teams that's in front of them. So I think they'd just be on the outside looking in as far as playoff basketball. I just don't think they have enough to get where they need to go as far as the playoffs. I think they'd be an interesting team. But like I said, the East is, to me, is wide open. Like, the only team I'm really sure about is Cleveland. Really, honestly, this whole conference. That's the only team I'm really real confident to say, all right, they're going to definitely make the playoffs. They're definitely going to be a top seed. All these other teams, I don't know what can happen with them at all. But, by breaking down in my brain, I got Detroit finishing 9th and just missing the playoffs. So now we get into the playoff mix in the East. Charlotte Hornets, number 8. Like I said, I like their talent. I like what they did in the draft. Malik Monk, I think would be an awesome player in the future. They did pick up the Dwight Howard in the offseason, and I'm going to touch on that, touch on him, I should say, in a minute. Just got a good, solid team. I think it'll be enough to make the playoffs this year. Kemba Walker, I like his game, how he play. As far as with the White, has always been, a lot of perceptions about him. I like him as a player, and the more I think about it, like some aficionados I listen to that say he's a clear cut Hall of Famer, and some people that I listen to say, well, he's on the borderline, blah blah blah. But as far as defensively, he won I think 3 or 4 defensive players of the year. He was a leader on the team at a time with Orlando. I think that was his best days when he was in Orlando. Since he left Orlando, he's been sort of like off and on, pretty much a journeyman. Because Charlotte, he was in Atlanta last year, but I thought he was going to get rejuvenated in Atlanta. I'm going to say it again. I think he will get rejuvenated in Charlotte. I think he'll have a big year, but the thing with him is, what's that cliche? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, and all this other stuff. Basically, all the places he's been the last few, since Orlando, every place. The LA Lakers, Houston, Atlanta, Charlotte. Well, Charlotte not yet, but those last 3 places has been the same thing. But he's a little bit of a diva. He does see that, so I think he just gotta accept what type of player he is and just maximize on it. Being a defensive anchor and just basically catching lobs and dunks. You know what I'm saying? Get your points that way. I mean, he talked about he wanted to go out to the 3-point line. I was like, just forget about that. Just go ahead, get in the post if you can. Get you the garbage points. I think he can easily get 10 to 20 garbage points a game, pretty easily. And then get your rebounds and blocks. Just do you. You know what I mean? But especially the way the NBA is, I understand why he want to develop a jump shot and stuff like that, but that's just not who you are. I think he needs to 100%. If he 100% focus on defense, he could be one of the best players in this game again, like he was in Orlando. So we'll see how Charlotte finished, but I got them finishing 8th and making the playoffs this year, just because of his, acquiring him and just the pieces they already have there. I think Batum is hurt for a extended period of time, but I think they still have enough to make the playoffs this year. Let's go to number 7, Philadelphia Eagles. The Sixers. Sorry, thinking about football right now. Sixers. They got a lot of young talent. They're a young team, which make them a wild card. But I just think they got too much challenge there to fall into the non-playoff purgatory of the East. I really think Embiid gonna play the most games he's ever played in his career. He has an injury. He's been injury prone, but I think he will play a lot this year, more than not. I think that's already a big improvement for the Sixers. Ben Simmons looked good in preseason. Fultz still got it, still a little raw, still got to get his game together, but I think he's still talented. But I think they got nice pieces around them. Their bench is not bad. AJ Redick, of course, they added him on off season. I think they'd be excited and an interesting team to watch this year. I think they just keep on improving. I think this year they finally made the playoffs, and then next year they may give you a bigger jump. But I got them finishing 7th in the East. Number 6, the Miami Heat. Miami Heat definitely have talent there. Hassan Whiteside, one of my favorite players in the NBA. See what he does. Dion Waiters, ice in his veins. He's a very tough player. I want to see what he do this year. Still got Goran Dragic. They got a lot of talent, a lot of pieces there in Miami to make a jump. So we'll see if they make a jump. Because they missed the playoffs last year, but I think they definitely gonna make it this year. I like what they doing down there. Still trying to get a big free agent. They might still be in the running next year with some things, but we'll see. But I think they'll finish 6th in the East this year. Number 5, I got the Milwaukee Bucks. One of the teams that I really sort of like my NFL team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Bucks I feel the same about them. Like, they got the talent there to overachieve even from this 5th position, but then sometimes they fall short of their expectations. So we'll see what they do. Of course, they got the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Might have said it wrong still, but I'm just going to stand by that pronunciation. He's a player that I like. I think he plays hard. Don't take days off. Don't take plays off. Even in the All-Star game, he was playing hard. I really like his game. We'll see what he do for the Bucks this year. A lot of people expect him to pick a big jump. He's a good defensive player. His offense still got to be developed a little bit more, but I think he will develop to a good offensive player. But the pieces of the Bucks just got a lot of long, athletic guys. Don Maker, Rookie of the Year last year. Brayton, he's a good player. They got the Australian point guard. His name not coming to me right now, but he's still good. Got a little big contract. Played for the Cavs the year before. Matthew Dellavedova. There we go. The name came to me. He's glued to their locker room. In the middle. I just like their team. They sort of old school in a way because they focus on defense, and I think that'll help them throughout the year. Offense still got to develop a little bit better, but I really like this team. I mean, they can shock you this year, but I just hope they don't underachieve. But I got them finishing 5th in the Eastern Conference. Number 4, the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors, I think they're stuck in purgatory. Now, we talked about the East. This is one of my certain, somewhat. The Raptors, basically, same team they had for the last 3, 4, 5 years. However how long it's been. They pretty much got a ceiling. I think they'd be a solid team in the East because of talent. DeMar DeRozan, they was able to get Kyle Lowry to sign back. I hate when my mind goes blank. Serge Ibaka, that's what I was thinking about. Serge Ibaka, he's a talented player. Have a jump shot, but I think he need to focus more on defense as well. Toronto, to me, they just are who they are. We know who they are. I think they maxed out, and I don't think they're going to do too much. I mean, the 4th seed is high. It's a good season, but it might be a rematch of the. I think that was the game last year. Milwaukee and Toronto in the playoffs. The Bucks did beat them out there. I think they beat again, which I got predicted, I guess, here. I think Milwaukee would beat them this time, but I picked Milwaukee to beat them last year in my mind. I think I had a playoff preview on my blog, but I think the Bucks is sort of trending up. I think the Toronto is sort of even and trending down for the most part. But still, it's just a team to watch. We'll see if they can improve, but I just don't think so. I got to finish in 4th in the East. Number 3 in the East, the Washington Wizards. John Wall, Bradley Beal, they did continue to improve, of course. We'll see if they can overachieve somewhat. I think they still have more potential than Toronto, but I think they sort of stuck in purgatory a little bit as well. Basically bringing the same team back from last year. But we'll see. Like I said, I really like John Wall. I really like Bradley Beal, but after that, a lot of questionable guys. We'll see if Otto Porter can keep improving. He was a key piece to them last year. It's just another interesting team to me. But in the East, like I said, the East is wide open, so we don't know what's going to happen, honestly. Other than Cleveland, like I said, that's the really team I really feel comfortable about. But the Wizards finished in 3rd in the East. Number 2, the Boston Celtics. Not sure about them because of all the moves they made in the offseason. Kyrie Irving is definitely talented. But this is the first time really with the spotlight on him and his team. But Boston young, got a lot of young talent. Jason Tatum, Josh Brown. They picked up Gordon Hayward. Made a lot of moves, but we'll see if they can improve from last year. But very interesting team. I think they'll do very well. I think they'll definitely be in that top half of the East for sure. But we'll see if they can improve enough to surpass Cleveland, which a lot of people, well, I ain't gonna say a lot, but some people think it's possible, but I don't think so. I think Cleveland's definitely the class of the East. Of course, they're number one team in the East. But I like Boston. I like what they're doing. I think they're just waiting for LeBron to either leave or get older for them to overtake them in the East. But we'll see what will happen with them. That's a very interesting team. Boston number 2 in the East for me. And of course, number 1 the Cleveland Cavaliers. Of course, got LeBron. We still got the best player in the world. We still got a chance. I like the pieces they made. They're definitely a defensive team. I think Derrick Rose, which I said a couple of times already, that he's not done. I think he'll have a big year this year. When they get Isaiah back, he's going to be a big key for the offense. Dwayne Wade, championship pedigree, veteran. He give you points where you need him. Cleveland, like I said, I think they got a good spot in the East. I think LeBron gonna have an MVP year, which I will get into in a little bit. I just like Cleveland. I really like them being dominant in the East again. Of course, a lot of talent went to the West, which we're about to break down. I think they're clearly the best team in the Eastern Conference, and probably most likely will represent the East again in the finals. So that's my Eastern Conference preview. We're gonna move on to the West. We'll do it the same way again, from 15 to 1. Try to be a little quicker this time. Let's start with the LA Lakers. Lakers got them 15th, finishing last in the West. The West is just too deep. That's basically what this is. I like what the Lakers are doing. I like their talent. I like what they're doing. And, you know, Alonzo Ball, Julian Randle, Kuzma, Brandon Ingram. I like their young talent, but I think they're still too young, and the West is just too deep. I really try to put a lot of thinking into this. You know, some people I've heard got them making the play. I don't think so. I really think they're the worst team in the West, and that's not they're great in the Lakers. I just don't think they're talented enough right now to compete. I think they finished last in the Western Conference. Sacramento Kings got them finishing 14th. Same with the Lakers. I like what they done in the offseason. Zach Randolph, one of my favorite players, the anchor. Not just on the court, in the locker room. I like them getting who they drafted. They got a lot of young players in the draft. I know it wasn't Josh Jackson, but the other guy. I got Monk. Dang, my mind went blank. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But I liked what they did in the draft. But I think they still a few years away from improving. I got them 14th in the West. Number 13, I got Phoenix. Even though I like what Phoenix did as well. This could be a surprise team. Got the potential to be higher than 13th, but just going into the season, I got them there. Of course, Devin Booker. I like Josh Jackson. That's what I was thinking about for Sacramento. If the name pop up in my mind, I'd go back to it. But they had a high draft pick. I just like Phoenix. Like their young talent, but I think they still need to develop a little bit more. I got them 13th. Number 12, the Utah Jazz. Of course, they lost George Hill. They lost Gordon Hayward, so they did take a little bit of a step back this year. But this is another team that possibly could make some noise in the West. Rudy Gobert going to be there for Rookie of the Year. I think they'd be a good defensive team, but I think they have struggled to score at times. I think that'd be their Achilles heel this year. I got to finish at 12th in the West. Number 11, the Denver Nuggets. A lot of people high on the Nuggets. And like I said, there's another team that's got the potential to make the postseason, but still think on a talent perspective, still think they fall short with the teams I have in front of them. Of course, got Moutier, got a lot of pieces. They picked up Paul Millsap in the offseason, which was a big pickup. Like I said, I wouldn't be shocked if they make the playoffs or be competing for it, but I got to finish at 11th in the West. Number 10, the Dallas Mavericks. I honestly think this would be Dirk's last year, but I really like Dennis Smith Jr. He's something else. I like his talent. I think he'll make them improve. I think Harrison Barnes will improve this year. They got a lot of talent there. I think They a little underrated. I think they're somewhat overachieved in some people's eyes. And like I said, just like I said about Denver and Utah, I think they have a chance to make the playoffs, but I think they fall short, just off a talent perspective. But I think they'll be competitive all year long. Number 9, the New Orleans Pelicans. Like I said, talent. NBA, you gotta have talent. Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins. Of course, DeMarcus Cousins already been rumored to be traded before the deadline. We'll see if that happens or not. Rondo, that's a big injury. He'll be out for a little while. But they still could plug Holiday in at the point guard spot. I think they'd be better than they were last year, but I think they'd fall short of the playoffs as well. I got them finishing 9th. Number 8, the LA Clippers. Right, this is the team. All the moves they made, losing Chris Paul to Houston, but still got Blake Griffin. He's talented. Just gotta stay off the injury list. DeAndre Jordan still an anchor in the middle, defense, rebounds. They got a lot of back from Houston, pretty much. I think Patrick Beverly Terry is underrated. The kid be a big impact. That young Spanish guard they got, well, it might be Italian, but probably know what I'm talking about. I don't know his name. His name don't come to me right now, but he's real good at passing the ball. I think their bench will be decent. I think they could get into the playoffs at number 8. Number 7, the Memphis Grizzlies. Still believe in Mike Conley. Still believe in Marc Gasol. I think they carry the Grizzlies as far as they can go this year. I think they finished 7th this year. Of course, Tony Allen getting his number retired, so shout out to him. Still got Chandler Parsons, I believe, is still there. I think they'd be competing for a spot in the playoffs. I think they finished 7th. I like just the competitive nature that the Grizzlies have. So I got them finishing 7th in the West. Number 6, the Portland Trail Blazers. The Blazers is one of the teams I like to see. They're a real exciting team. Of course, Lillard and McCollum in the backcourt. Of course, McCollum gonna miss their first game as he stepped off the bench in a preseason game when somebody was getting into a scrap. You know, if you ain't supposed to leave the bench, leave the bench. It's an automatic 1-game suspension. So that's tough. But I still think they go sort of. I don't want to say surprise, but definitely be in the mix in the Western Conference. I think they finished 6th. Number 5, the Minnesota Timberwolves. They made a lot of off-season changes, of course. Getting Jimmy Butler. They signed Wiggins, I think it was yesterday, to a long-term extension, so he'll be there for a while. Karl Anthony Towns, time will be coming. They 3 top guys. Got Jamal Crawford, which is a solid bench player. It's poised for Minnesota to have a big year this year. Probably the most improved team from where they were last year to this year. I got them finishing 5th in the Western Conference. Number 4, the Houston Rockets. Of course, they made the trade for Chris Paul, probably the first big move in the offseason. James Harden still there, probably still have a big year, MVP year again that he did last year. Him being off ball more, we'll see how he adjusts to that. But I think he can. I think Chris Paul. I think it's going. The more I think about it, I think it's going. First, I was skeptical about the move and how they would work, but the more I think about it, I think James Harden could definitely play the 2-guard more if he had to. I think it'll work. And then they got a lot of shooters still around them. Eric Gordon, who won 6th Man of the Year last year, and Ryan Anderson can shoot 3s, so they're gonna shoot a lot of 3s. So they're gonna be an up and down team. I think they will be one of the top teams in the league when it's all said and done. Houston finished 4th. Number 3, the San Antonio Spurs. Now this is a team that's very interesting for many reasons. Kawhi Leonard, they're going to start the season on the injury list. But honestly, like, I picked the Spurs because this high. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about yawning. Every time I doubt them, they surprise me. So I have a lot of doubts about the Spurs in my mind. And then I flipped that to, well, I better put them high because they're going to definitely overachieve again, like they always do. They locked up LaMarcus Aldridge today, I think it was a long-term deal. Well, stitching. Even though he was unhappy last year with his role. But I think he's going to have even more pressure on him this year. Because I think if he have a monster year, then Spurs is definitely worthy of the top 3 in the West. But if he don't, if he falls short, then they can fall a little bit down in the West. But very interesting team, sort of a flip in the coin team. I wouldn't be shocked if they finish like 6 or 7 in the West, but every time I thought they were, they finished top 2, top 3. So I got them 3rd in the West for that reason. I see it, I guess. Number 2, the OKC Thunder. Made a lot of offseason moves as well. Of course, got Paul George and Carmelo Anthony via trade. This, to me, is the most interesting team, and the team I want to really see this year. Russell Westbrook, one of my favorite players to watch all the time. Will he, I think he will, but a lot of people think, well, if he going to still play the same? I think he understands now he has talent around him, Paul George and Carmelo. So I think his stats will go down for his scoring. I think he might, assists and the rebounds might still be there, but I think his scoring going to go down. I think he won't lead the league in scoring this year. But Carmelo, I think he'll be rejuvenated. I think he'll look different than he's looked the last few years in New York. And Paul George as well. Even though it's not guaranteed that any of them are going to stay in the long term. Of course, they did lock up Russell Westbrook for a while, so he'll be there. But this is a team I really want to see out of all the teams, even more than the Warriors and the Cavs. I want to see this team, see how they adjust and how they make all of it work. And I believe with those 3 guys, they can at least be 2nd in the West and challenge the Warriors a little bit. And speaking of the Warriors, they're number 1, of course, in the Western Conference. Still got Durant, probably the 2nd best player in the world, unarguably, or whatever you want to say. Still got Steph Curry, that might be top 5. Klay Thompson can shoot it. Draymond Green is the soul of the team. They bench still deep. They kept a lot of the guys from last year. Now this is, let's bring up the Raptors again. The Raptors know it don't work. They always fell short, but the Warriors know that it works, so they kept all the guys. Iguodala still there, who used to be a starter in this league, and now is a veteran off the bench. I think they have a tougher time than they did last year, but I think they will rise to the top again in the Western Conference and number 1. Alright, so I touched on all 30 teams. Now I'm going to get into my predictions for this season. The NBA Finals, I think it'll be Warriors, Cleveland, number 4. I think Cleveland will have, of course, a better road to the finals. The East is pretty much decimated by all the moves, but Cleveland might not even finish number 1, but I think I'm still confident in them making it out the East pretty easily like they did last year. I think the Warriors will have a tougher time. Like I said, I think they'll probably have some 5-6 game series getting there, other than sweeping the way they pretty much swept. They did sweep the West last year, but I don't think it's going to be like that this time. But I think they still have a decent road to the finals. But I still think they'll edge out the Cavaliers in the finals again. I think it'll be a much better series. I think it'll be at least 6 games at least. And the Warriors will be 2-time champions. That's my prediction. Of course, it's not going nowhere soon. Curry is locked up for a while. Durant sacrifices with his contract to stay. The interesting two that I want to see if they stay or take less money is Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. But until now, you know, they're gonna make it. So I think the Warriors will have another championship year, and they will be a champion in the season. I did take some awards, just a few. MVP, I think LeBron. This is LeBron year this year. Despite what I just said about the Cavaliers, he ain't win it the last couple of years, but they can't win his 5th MVP award, basically because I think that Cavaliers, even though they're a deeper team, probably an overall better team, but I think Kyrie is like a clear number 2 or 1A to LeBron. I think this year LeBron will have a monster year stat-wise, and carry the Cavaliers. There's really nobody that take his votes away. I think in Golden State, the Rat, a lot of people said the Rat could win it, and he was a big candidate last year, and he could still win it, but I think the team they have around him, especially since they won, I think they'd take votes away from him from that. Westbrook, I think he have no chance this year unless he have another monster year like he did last year with the triple doubles and things. I don't think he's going to. Then I think they'll discredit him for having George and Anthony. I think Harden have a better chance than him, but I think him getting Chris Paul, that hurts. Kawhi is my dark horse. I think he could win it this year, but honestly, well, I don't think he would, because I actually thought he was until now that he's injured going to the season. So I don't know if he's going to play a lot this year just due to his injury, so they might sort of like reserve him and somewhat. I see if the Spurs get off to a good start. So I got LeBron winning the MVP. Defensive player of the year, I do got Kawhi winning that, and I'm not 100% sure on that. Defensive player of the year is real tricky, because sometimes they go with a guy with that rebounds and blocks. Sometimes they go with a perimeter defensive guy. But I think just what I said, my theory is, alright, well, we don't give you MVP, but we'll give you defensive player of the year. You're a good defensive player. So my theory is that they'd be like the run up to the MVP, and they get him defensive player of the year instead. So I think he'll win that. And rookie of the year, I got Jason Tatum winning. Mainly because I think Boston probably had a better record out of all the rookies, out of all top rookies. He'd probably be in the playoffs, had a better record. The other rookies that have a chance to win it, like Monk and Josh Jackson for Phoenix, I think they're not going to be in playoff contention, so I think that'll hurt them. I think Tatum, out of those top guys, will be definitely in the playoffs, so I just got him winning it. As long as he stay healthy, the kid win rookie of the year. Alright, so that's all I'm going to cover with this NBA playoff, season preview, not playoff preview, because playoffs will start till April of next year. But this is the season that's been, like, this season, as far as any, I'm looking very forward to. Of course, tomorrow night on TNT, watch the doubleheader. Cavs, Celtics, and Warriors and Rockets tomorrow night. Very excited about this season. All the moves, all the uncertainty. I think it's a lot of uncertainty this year more than last year. Even though I got Cleveland and Golden State getting to the finals again, but I think there'd be a lot of roadblocks in their way this time. But I think they still overcome those roadblocks and get there. Before I wrap this blog up, a special blog, of course, just want to say thank you again to all my subscribers. Take a good, keep your eyes open for all my other projects, my retro series projects with Mega Man. I'm on Mega Man 9 right now, on the Mega Man Legacy Collection 2. Jack and Daxter, of course, Thursday, look out for that. Saturday, maybe I still gotta get into that, so check all those things out. Call of Duty World War II is probably the next new game that I'm going to do, near the, in the beginning of November. So look out for that. Just want to say thank you guys so much. To all my hardcore basketball fans, thank you so much for watching and enjoy the NBA season. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you all so much for your support. All my subscribers, thank you all. And hope y'all enjoy y'all week. I will be back Wednesday to preview the Chiefs and the Raiders this week. Another wild week in the NFL. So we'll get into all that. My power rankings, I gotta do that, which is going to be tough. Chiefs lost for the first time. Right now I'm watching the Titans and the Colts. Colts are winning, but the Titans are driving. They take the lead. They're down by 4, 19-15. Still gotta check the Yankees and the Astros score in the baseball playoffs. But I just want to thank you guys so much for supporting me and watching my channel. And enjoy your week. And I'll see you in 2 days on Wednesday for the Thursday Night Football edition of the blog. And of course, I'll be back Saturday as well to review the weekend sports. Enjoy the NBA season. It kicks off tomorrow night. I'm Solid Day Assassin, also known as Troy West. Well, my name is Troy West. And I thank you guys so much. Enjoy your week and enjoy all your sports. I'll talk to you guys again. Thank you so much.